Hey there, everyone. This is meteorologist Ryan Weekman back with our weekly Sunday night weather hangout. Thanks very much for joining us out there. This is about the ninth week we've been doing this now, so starting to get the ball rolling, really get a lot of these working for us here. And if you've never joined us, again, this is a great week to start our Sunday night weather hangout. This will likely be a little bit more of an abbreviated Sunday night weather hangout because I will be hosting two hangouts this evening. If you joined last week's program, I hinted at the fact that I thought we would do a hangout live during a weathercast, and it looks like tonight will be the evening. Our 10 p.m. show will be hosting a hangout live during the newscast, so you'll get to see what's going on in the studio behind me with all the lights lit up and everything. You can watch at home, watch our Fox Channel 36 newscast. It'll be kind of cool, a two-screen experience. We'll be putting out the link for that coming up after our Sunday night weather hangout here. But as always, we've got time to talk about the forecast. If you have questions and you're watching on the Storm Track Weather blog, well, go ahead and ask me any questions that you have. Links above to my Facebook and Twitter pages are very convenient for you. If you're watching on Google+, that's the much more efficient way to hang out. I've got the Q&A section lit up for you here, so feel free to ask any questions that you might have. So let's dive right into things here in the Storm Track Weather Center. Again, this is the nerdier side of the forecast, if you will. What we're looking at for us, well, it's a rather quiet setup across the nation. Our water vapor imagery continues to loop. Eastern half of the country is under the influence of a trough of low pressure that's pushing across Ontario. Western half of the United States, a bit more active for us. I see lots of moisture in the mid-levels of the atmosphere across the Intermountain West and pushing into the Central Plains. For the most part, the week ahead looks pretty quiet for us. Here's the national radar loop. Don't get too freaked out at all of the circles that you see on the map. That's just ground clutter around every single radar site, picking up buildings and trees and landscape around the radar. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. Really much the only active weather that we have are some showers across Maine, some thunderstorms across the deep southeast, and some pretty decent thunderstorms across Montana and the central, or I should say northern plains for Nebraska in the Dakotas. Last week, if you were watching, we had some very active weather across Nebraska, heading into Iowa, Missouri, and down towards Kansas. This week, not so much the case for us here. Our main forecast talk will be about the warm-up that's been on the way. In the last few days, I know it's been pretty cold for us. We've been stuck under an upper-level low. We've had lots of clouds. The temperatures have been pretty cold for us. Seems like every May we get this 4 to 5 day stretch where things cool down for us. But I think we're starting to turn that corner. We're going to see some warmer days ahead. Today was a nice, warm, sunny day. And now that we're getting that upper low moving out of Canada, things are setting up for some warmer afternoons ahead. Let's turn things back over to the Simu AWIP software for us here. And here's what we're looking at as far as weather models are concerned over the next few days. Basically, this is just a temperature plot across the country. We've got Mexico to the south, Canada to the north, U.S. sandwiched right in the middle. To give you some sense of where we are, northwest Ohio right here, southeast Michigan there. I know it can be a little tough to see, but right across the Great Lakes. We're going to be watching over the next 48 hours as a cold front is going to push in from the southwest, and it shows up very nicely. This is Sunday evening here at 8 p.m., and I'm going to put the clock forward overnight for tonight. Yes, it's going to be a cold evening or a cool evening. Lows will slip back down into the 40s. No threat of a frost for tonight. But watch what happens tomorrow as the sun gets going up here. I expect most of the Great Lakes will warm to near 70 degrees here. Here's where that warm front is, pretty much right along the Mississippi River up towards Des Moines, back into the southeast. This is on Monday evening. By Tuesday morning, though, look how that warm front has really begun to advance, especially by the afternoon hours for us. That's why I'm expecting things to be quite a bit warmer on Tuesday, and especially there as we get into Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I expect things will be warmer as well for us. So we do have a warm-up on the way. Here's that 7-day forecast. If you guys don't have the Storm Track Weather app, I highly recommend you get it because we'll be updating the forecast there. It has a 10-day forecast on it. Really, the only chances for showers that we have this week are Tuesday with that warm front lifting north, and then it actually returns back as a cool front on Wednesday, and a little bit higher chances for some showers there on Wednesday, but you'll notice that highs warm all the way up to 80 degrees. And for the most part, the 7-day forecast does look pretty warm for us, so we've got some warmer afternoons to talk about coming up, and I am looking forward to some of those warmer days ahead for us as well, especially as we get later on into the forecast there on a Wednesday and into next week for us here again. Normally, we keep turning the there we go. If you guys can hear me, they're having some technical difficulties. A lot of times we like to do this screenshot for you here, but we've got up. I'm trying to bring things back to the camera on me. It looks like the technology is going to fail us for this weather hangout, but it's okay. You just won't see my face. I'll be able to talk and answer your guys' questions, so don't worry. I'll just keep the 7-day forecast up so you guys can see that, and hopefully everything continues to work out for us as far as that's concerned. So it'll be a little bit of different Sunday night weather hangout. I do have a few questions that were already asked of me over on Facebook and Twitter, so I'm going to try to get to those, and then I see a lot of questions starting to light up on the right side of the screen here. It's good to see all of you here in our Google Plus Hangout, our Sunday night weather hangout. We do this every Sunday night at 8:30, but I'm trying to get to some of these questions for us here. We've got Amber, Kyle, and Colleen who have asked questions. Colleen had a good question, and it kind of relates back to what we were just looking at, so I'm going to bring it back to the temperature map for us here. Colleen asked, why is it still so chilly at night, despite the fact that temperatures are getting into the 60s and 70s during the day? Colleen, good question. You'd think if things warm up during the day, well, it'd be able to stay warm at night, but that's not the case, especially when we have these clear evenings for us. Actually, when we have clear skies and calm winds, it allows what little heat we've been able to generate the last few days to escape back up into the upper levels of the atmosphere. And so while it has been warm during the day, especially when you've got that sun shining, once you lose that heating and there's nothing there to trap it or hold it there, things do cool down for us as we go through today. So let's talk about other questions that we have. Colleen, I hope that answers your question there. Kyle asked, what are the chances for some thunderstorms Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning? Have some softball games we're worried about there, Kyle. Looks like the chances for rain on Tuesday, 7-day forecast there, while it is a 30% chance for rain, I think the highest threat is actually during the morning hours for Tuesday. So I would say for the most part, Tuesday looks good. Wednesday, maybe more of the afternoon and evening type of showers and thunderstorms. But that looks like the main threat over the next 7 days, just a 30 and 40% chance of showers. The 7-day forecast really does look pretty dry. Amber had a question. What does the storm setup look like for Tuesday and into Wednesday? I'm going to try and bring the camera back here. Nope, it's not going to work for me, guys. It's just going to be one of those days where the technology wins out on the severe weather or the Sunday night weather hangout for us here. Amber's question, storm setup. What does it look like Tuesday into Wednesday? Here's the very latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Today didn't have any outlook for severe weather. Tomorrow as well. Here's the only day that we have highlighted over the next 3 days for some thunderstorms, and this would be on Tuesday. Right now, the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center is only highlighting Wisconsin, Dubuque, back towards Davenport, up towards Lansing and Green Bay there for a slight chance for some severe thunderstorms for us. The setup just doesn't look very healthy on Tuesday and Wednesday. There's not a lot of instability. The higher likelihood of the 2 days would be Wednesday, but again, maybe some gusty winds. Severe weather setup last week looked a lot stronger for those of you that are dedicated viewers of the Sunday Night Weather Hangout. You notice I said severe weather was very possible on Monday and Tuesday, and that's what we saw across the Toledo area. We were talking about Monday being the higher possibility of maybe of an isolated tornado last week. Monroe County had 2 reports of funnel clouds and tornadoes up there as well. So this is something that we watch very closely this time of the year, but right now it doesn't look like a high threat for the week ahead for us here. So those are the questions that we've got on there. I want to get to some of the questions that you guys have been asking over on our Sunday Night Weather Hangout on Google+. So let's get to these again. If you guys are just joining in, we're having some technical difficulties. Usually you'd see me here on camera. Right now the technology apparently doesn't feel like working out so well. So I'm going to answer the questions with our screen capture feature enabled for us here. So let's get to our first questions here. This isn't a question, but I feel like selecting it first. It says, hola. And I say hola back. All right, let's get to the next one for us here. Heather's asking, Heather is a very common, very frequent viewer, I should say. Heather, thank you very much for listening. Will Wisconsin, Ohio get severe weather later this week? And why has it been so cold here lately for us? All right, Heather, we're going to answer your question here. The cold weather had to do with that upper level low and the threat for severe weather we kind of just handled. So hopefully, Heather, that answers your question. Zach, you're up next. What's the severe weather threat look like for the week? This is the big question that we answer this time of the year. And again, severe weather threat, very happy to say, does look very low for us for the week ahead, especially once we get past Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to be in a very quiet pattern dominated by high pressure. Things look pretty quiet for us here over the next week to 7 to 10 days for us here. Jack, this looks like a fun question for us here. Jack asked, yesterday I saw a funnel cloud when the rain was moving in. It went away after 2 minutes. Can you explain this? Well, Jack, there's many ways to explain this here. One of the things would be that perhaps it wasn't quite a funnel cloud that you saw or some low-hanging clouds that looked like a funnel. And I'm assuming that you live here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan, Jack. The setup for funnels wasn't all that high over the last few days. So that's why I'm thinking perhaps it was just a low-hanging cloud. If we were to have seen a funnel cloud, it's not that uncommon with that low pressure center sitting right overhead. We've got very cold temperatures higher in the atmosphere, and when we heat the surface or heat the ground, that temperature differential between the warm air at the surface and the cold air aloft, well, that can obviously create the spinning. Think back to elementary and primary school when your teacher taught you the warm air, the cold air colliding. Sometimes it causes spinning. Well, many times that's the case, and when you have an upper level low on top of you, spinning as well, that can add some ingredients to the atmosphere to create some very short-lived funnels. So over the last week with that low moving through the Great Lakes, we've had a report of it. Not sure the conditions were perfect yesterday, so that's maybe why I say we maybe didn't see a funnel yesterday, but if it were to have happened, and it's not completely out of the question, Jack, I would say that's the very likely reason why you might have seen a funnel, and it goes away very quickly. Those cold air funnels do not stick around very long for us here. All right, guys, I'm making this a very abbreviated severe weather hangout, or Sunday night weather hangout. Perhaps I should call it a severe weather hangout, because I tend to keep calling it that, and I'm not sure why. But if you guys stick around, if you're following me on Facebook and Twitter, you guys are going to get a link here pretty soon. We're going to do another hangout, and we're going to do this live newscast this evening. You guys are going to get to watch live while we're on the air during the commercial breaks. You guys can ask questions. I'm going to answer them. It'll be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll start doing this more often, but for now, I'm going to sign off. Be sure to be watching for your Twitter and Facebook feeds, and here on Google+. You guys will have the chance to ask questions live. That'll be a lot of fun. So that'll be coming up here in just a few minutes. Stick around, guys. Thanks so much for watching this week. If you're watching our Sunday Night Weather Hangout after the fact, I know there's a lot of you on my YouTube page that watch it after the fact. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care.